welcome to episode 43 of the Made by Mumina podcast. My name is Catherine and I'm a knitter, occasional spinner, occasional weaver, and this is my little corner of the internet to talk about all the projects that I'm working on and irresponsible purchases, that kind of thing, any test knits that I'm doing as well. So yes, welcome, a huge welcome to you if you are new here, and a very warm welcome back if you've been here before to listen to my ramblings. So I'm recording in Mönchengladbach in Germany, which is kind of halfway between Dusseldorf and the Dutch border, and this is where I live permanently with my partner who's from this area. And but I'm originally from Wales in the UK. And I try and get back there as much as possible, at least a few times a year. But anyway, so today I have got, what have I got to show you? A couple of test knits. A spontaneous cast-on, which I started last week because I found some yarn that I just needed to use right then and there. And also I went to a yarn festival yesterday. I went to the Breidagen, which is a Dutch yarn festival, happens twice a year I think. And yesterday it was up in Nijkerk on Friday and Saturday. So normally I film on a Monday, but today is Sunday. I have got a horrendously busy week next week, doing all sorts of boring adulty things. So I thought I would record today instead. And as a result, there might be a few more breaks because obviously there are lots of people around in the building. Might be a few more breaks than normal. But anyway, let's get started. Also, I forgot to mention before we get started, I always put chapters in so that you can skip over any bits that you're not interested in. And also anything that I talk about is linked down below, but feel free to message me or email me, whatever. All of the ways to reach me on social media and so on are linked down below as well, if you have any questions. So today I'm wearing a nice easy outfit because I intend not to leave the sofa too much today. There was a lot of walking yesterday and I had a really busy week last week, another busy week next week. So I intend to be sitting as much as possible today, doing lots of knitting. So I'm wearing my Tetra slip over. This is by Rachel Costello. You've definitely seen it here before if you've been watching me for a while. And this was a test knit that I did for her a couple of years ago, and it's a very, very versatile pattern. It's really cool. The construction is very interesting. You knit it first of all from top to bottom on one side, and then from side to side on this side, and then the same on the back, and then you've got these really cool seams and things, and a really nice rolled neck as well on it. So this is a lovely pattern. I really like it. It's very versatile. It comes in 9 sizes, I believe. I think I made the 6th size. It's for 4.5mm needles on the body. I think actually the original pattern may have been for 5mm needles. Yes, US 8. And I went down a needle size just to get the gauge that I liked. I made this with West Yorkshire Spinners Croft, and I just really, really like it. It's nice and easy to wear. I often wear it over a denim dress that I've got and things like that, just as a little extra layer in sort of this time of year. It's perfect. And this yarn is so squishy. I bought another sweater quantity of it, ages ago, I think last Christmas, when I was back in the UK with the intention of making another cardigan or something. And the yarn is still sitting there. I have maybe an idea to make something for my partner with it, but we shall see. This is a very versatile pattern, as I said. It's very customizable in terms of the depth. I've done mine very cropped because, as I said, I like to wear it over dresses. It's a really, really cool pattern, very enjoyable and addictive knit. So go and check it out. Okay, the next thing to show you are my finished socks. You saw half of these last week, but I thought I'd show them to you because now they're finished and blocked, and I'm really happy with them and I can't wait to wear them. These are self-striping socks from Madrigal yarn. I picked up this sock set when I was at Unravel Festival a couple of weeks ago. No, it was longer ago than that, last month. No, it was in September. Oh my goodness, I don't know. Whenever it was, at Unravel. Recently I picked this yarn up and it's called Skwear, named for one of the Spice Girls, and it just screamed autumn and just lovely warm cozy pumpkin soup to me. So I picked those up. A couple of people were asking me about how to make socks with self-striping yarn. I think the answer is not to overthink it. The stripes will look after themselves. So this was a set that had, if I show you the label, an 80-20 split. So 80 grams of the main yarn and 20 grams of the contrast colour. And it's an 85% superwash merino with 15% nylon, so just a nice standard sock yarn. It's very smooth, it's lovely. But anyway, as I was saying, so I knit a 2x2 rib for, I think it was 10 or 15 rows, and then I kept knitting. So normally I like to do a complete leg that's between 70 and 80 rows, something like that, just because I like it to poke out the top of my Dr. Martin boots. But when you're knitting with self-striping yarn, let the stripes kind of guide you so that they're easy to make them matchy-matchy. So here I chose to stop after one of these purple stripes so that I could get the contrast with the heel nicely. Put the heel in and then again knit, 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 and again pick where you're going to stop so that it's nice and easy to get the other sock looking the same. So here I stopped on this sort of corally colour. And after the coral, you can see there's only one colour before you get to this yellow, this mustard colour, which is where I started the sock in the first place. So when you're starting the second sock, as long as you wind off the yarn until you get to that same point, they'll match. So yeah, often when I'm knitting vanilla socks, I love vanilla socks because I can keep them in my handbag so that when I'm on the train or you know, out and about somewhere, I can just knit and I don't have to think. But with self-striping yarn, obviously you need to know where you stopped each section so that your stripes match up. So I just take a photograph of the finished sock so I can take it with me and use it as a reference point. So yeah, that's my self-striping sock from Madrigal, and they're lovely, they're really nice, and I'm so glad that I've shown them to you now because I can wear them. So yes, I shall be wearing these this week. From an 80 gram skein, I had that much left. So what's that? Probably about 15 grams, 20 grams, something like that. And then from the 20 gram mini, I had that left, which is probably about 7 grams, I'd say, 7 or 8 grams. So I could have done the cuff a little bit longer. I have a UK size 6 foot, which I'm pretty sure, well, I know it's a 39 in EU, but I have genuinely no idea what it is. I think it might be a US 8. I'm not sure, maybe a US 7. Anyway, I've got really average size feet. So yeah, you can quite nicely get a pair of socks out of these. And as you saw, I did quite a long leg on mine. So yeah, definitely, if I see his yarn again, I'll definitely get some more of that self-striping sock yarn because it's a joy to knit with. My next finished object, I'm not going to show you in person, but I'll put up a little video here that I put on Instagram the other day of me threading all of my little garland pieces onto a bit of twine. So I've hung it up behind me here on my shelf, so I don't really want to get it down because it was a bit of a potch to get it in the right place. So yeah, I made the autumn, what was the actual name of it? I wrote it down here. It's the Full Harvest Garland. So there's lots of little mini pumpkins, leaves, acorns, pine cones, that kind of thing. You make these little bits out of scraps and then thread it on something and display it. And yeah, I made my little full garland there and I love it. It's really, really cute. It's not really anything else to say about it. I just wanted to point at the cute pumpkins. So she makes, Susan B. Anderson makes other little sort of toys and little charms and things like that. I have a feeling I might need to make one for each season. And it's just such a cool project to use up little scraps, and they're just so charming. They're so sweet. I'm not really one for knitted toys because I just don't like. I've never been one for soft toys. Even when I was a kid, I wasn't really into soft toys. But those little decorations, it's kind of like acceptable soft toys for me. But yeah, they're really super cute, and I'm very tempted to make the festive one for the winter one. Yeah, because they're super cute. Anyway, I think I've established I think they're cute. So I used lots of leftover woolly knits and some other bits and pieces in the right colours. I will say that the more woolly yarn made it more structured, made the little pieces more structured. But I just love the colour of the leaves and things made with the variegated superwash. So yeah, great projects for little scrappy bits and pieces if that's what you're into. Okay, so the next project I have to show you is a WIP. I knew that I was going to be doing this in the last episode, but I hadn't received the pattern, so I didn't talk about it. But yeah, I'm doing, is that the correct side? Yes. I'm making a little shawlette. How amazing is that fabric? I haven't worked on this much since I did a little Instagram photograph of it a little while ago. But this is going to be a little shawlette, and I'm making this for the Midnight Architect, the same person for whom I did a test knit shawl a couple of months ago. And I saw this and I thought this was a really nice opportunity to try a new technique because it uses intarsia, which I've never done before. All you do is colour work, well, sorry, not all you do. It's colour work, but you don't take the yarn along with you. You don't take both colours along with you. So where you have this transition, you wrap the yarns around each other, leave the first colour behind and then knit with your contrast colour, and then do the same thing at the other end. So you need two little balls of the colours on either side. But this is on 4mm needles, which is, what is that? You'd think I'd remember these by now. A US 6. And it's mohair held just by itself. It's creating this beautiful sheer fabric. It's gorgeous. It's a little bit fiddly to work with, I must admit. And the yarn management is a bit fiddly every time I put it back in the bag. Everything gets all tangled up, but that's on me. It's got nothing to do with the pattern. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's not going to be very big, and I chose these colours because I kind of pictured it sort of as a little extra layer when I'm wearing a coat or something, and I thought it'd be really nice and very sort of neutral and tonal to go with lots of different hats. But it's a great way of using up a little bit of extra mohair. I don't know about you, but I always overbuy mohair for projects. I always end up with a skein of it left over when I've finished. So I have lots of little bits of mohair dotted about the place. So this complete pattern uses less than 20 grams, and it's perfect therefore for using those little leftover bits of mohair. So yeah, really cute pattern. The deadline for this is the 30th of October, so this is going to be my main focus, I think, for the next week or so to get this finished. Probably work on this a bit later today as well. So I imagine that the release will be not long after that, but it's a really cute little pattern. It would make a nice gift for somebody as well. I'd be interested to see what this looks like knit up in 4-ply or something as well. So I've used Ito silk mohair, but you can use any lace weight yarn. It would work really nicely for that as well, I think. So yeah, very cute. Really enjoying that. So I'm using, what colours am I using? This one is Coke, and the other one is called Burnt Umber, which looks black, but it's actually got sort of bluish undertones. It's really nice. And they do play nicely together. And both of these were from other projects, and as I said, I had them left over. So yeah, always overbuying mohair. Terrible for that. Never mind. But I think that having leftover mohair is never the end of the world, because it's nice in a blanket, or it's nice in, you know, just doing a cuff or something in a different colour. So yeah, it doesn't take up much space anyway, does it? So that is my, oh, I forgot to say the name of it. It's called the Skwear, and it's got a really interesting spelling. And yeah, that should be out later on, probably in November. So the next WIP to show you, I have finished the body on my Kiruna. Well, I haven't finished the body. I've almost finished the body on my Kiruna cardigan. I finished knitting all the way up to here. That's what this strange shape is here. And put in a new steek bridge for sort of this bit up here. and I have done a 3 needle bind off on the top. So I haven't progressed to the next stage of actually doing the steek yet, because I wanted to talk about this really quickly first. So firstly, I've been knitting for years and I still make mistakes. It always happens. I'm worried that when I put stuff on Instagram and things, it gives the impression that everything's always going really well, when that's really not the case at all. So first thing I did, 3 needle bind off, beautiful. It is a bit of a faff, it is a bit of a fiddle, but it's totally worth it because you get this super neat seam. And as you can see, the pattern lines up beautifully. Yeah, the first time I did it, that wasn't the case. I don't know what I did. I think maybe when I was doing the bind off, I knit one side and slipped it off without slipping the other needle off or something. So I ended up knitting 1 stitch twice. So that beautifully lined up pattern, yeah, wasn't lining up. It was 1 stitch out. So I had to do that twice. And then I'd done it, put it all together. Happy, happy, happy. Showing my mum over FaceTime. And I saw, there's a mistake. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I know. Oh, yep, there it is. There's a mistake. Da-dum. So I wanted to show you before I fixed it, just to show you that yes, everyone makes mistakes. This is not a big deal at all. So I have 2 options with how to fix this. First option that I'm going to try is doing a little duplicate stitch, because in reality, even though it looks like there's a lot of things going on that are wrong there, I only actually need to duplicate stitch 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches and it'll be fixed. If that doesn't work, I will undo the needle bind off here and then drop down to this point. Now there are loads of really good tutorials out there on how to do this. I think the most knitters would agree that when you're learning to knit, you're not actually learning the technique of knitting. You're learning how to firstly spot your mistakes and secondly how to repair them. And there are very, very few mistakes out there that aren't repairable. Most mistakes, you can get to that point in your live stitches and then be brave, drop the stitch above where your mistake is and ladder down to it. And then with a crochet hook, work your way back up to repair the ladder that you've made. That works for cables, it works for colour work, it works for most things. The only one that is a little bit tricky is in garter stitch if you do that, or in brioche if you do that. But again, it's not impossible, it's just, you know, learning to do it. Roxanne Richardson, she does great tutorials on how to do fixes like that. Very Pink Knits is also one of my go-tos for tutorials of how to fix things. But yeah, so I thought I'd show you the mistake, which I've lost again. There it is. Before I fix it. So I will fix that maybe sometime next week. And then I will get on and steek this. Haha! I'm feeling pretty good about this now. The size feels good. I'm pretty confident I've got enough yarn to complete the project. So when you're doing the 3 needle bind off, you cut the yarn and then rejoin the main colour to do this. And the seam is on the inside. So if I show you the seam. So I was a bit sneaky. I used some very similarly coloured woolly knit to do the seam. There we go. And this is the woolly knit here, held double. I don't know if I can find some of the, yeah, so you can see compared to the actual MC that I'm using. Where is that? There we go. See the difference between them. The actual MC is obviously much thicker, but they're pretty similar colour. So I did my seam with woolly knit, held double, and I'll also reinforce my steek as well using woolly knit, just to save on the amount of the MC that I'm using, because it's quite a special yarn. It's from Wool and Twine, and it's a Shetland Welsh Black Mountain blend, and it's beautiful, and you can't get any more of it. So, well, I can't find any more of it anywhere. So yeah, I don't really want to use it on bits that aren't going to be seen anyway. So yeah, next, repairing the stitch or stitches, and then doing the steek and putting in the button bands. And I'm really excited to get that done. So yeah, watch this space. Okay, so the last project that I've got to show you was a sort of spontaneous project, because I was thinking about destashing some yarn. I found out, or I realised at the end of last winter, that I've actually got a slight intolerance to alpaca, because I made a beautiful headband for myself. I was really happy with it, but after a day of wearing it, my scalp got really sore, which is really frustrating, because I've got quite a lot of headbands and things that I've made in alpaca, and to suddenly develop this intolerance is, yes, it's irritating in many ways. So I was going through my stash and thinking, okay, if I've developed this intolerance to alpaca, maybe it's, you know, I just can't wear alpaca anymore, which would just be really sad, and I've got quite a lot of it in my stash. So I was going through my stash, sorting out what bits and pieces I had and thinking about destashing them, about selling them. And I came across these two little balls of yarn from a local to me seller, Val Village. And she specialises in importing British yarn. Lots of Shetland yarn, Jameson and Smith, Guernsey yarn, all sorts of things. And this is something that she had spun up specially, and it's 80% British Beaumont, 20% alpaca, and it's a 4-ply sport weight, so 175 metres per 50 grams. And it's just so gorgeous, and I thought, do you know, I will make something out of it, and just to see if I can wear it. And if I can't, I'll gift them to somebody. So I cast on these. This pattern is called A Time to Reap, and it's by a maker called Dandelion Girl Designs. And I don't think that she's designing anymore, actually, because I think her Instagram account is inactive. This is an old pattern. I think it's from 2013, so it's quite an old pattern. They're just really cute. You start off at the end of the sleeve, knitting a bit of garter, putting this cute little motif, knitting up, making the gusset for the thumb, and then making the top. They should have quite a lot of positive ease. Mine don't, because the yarn that I'm using is a little bit heavy. So the recommended yarn is a fingering weight on a 3.25mm or US 3 needle, but I've got a sport weight here. I'm using the same size needles, but it's just making a slightly thicker fabric. But yeah, that's what I've got here. How gorgeous is that? I'm really happy with them. But yeah, I thought I would knit them up, see how I got on with them, to see if the intolerance that I seem to have here is also on my arms and things. Right now it feels okay, to be honest, but I'd be interested to see what it feels like out and about. But yeah, I've just started the thumb gusset of the second one. So I made a couple of adaptations to the pattern. Firstly, here you're supposed to do a particular cast on that comes in 2 sizes, but I had a feeling I'd need a little bit more space because I've got quite chunky little arms. So I cast on 8 extra stitches, and then I reduced them. If I take this off, I reduced them here. So after I'd knit about 5 centimetres of the sleeve after the garter stitch section here, I reduced 1 stitch every 3rd round for 8 rounds then, to just create a nice gentle decrease, and then I started the thumb gusset, and I'm happy with it. It's that extra 8 stitches has made quite a difference. So yeah, they're really cute, aren't they? I really like these. Yeah, so hopefully I can finish the other one in the next week or so. I'm in no rush to finish these. As I said, it's an old pattern. It's not a test knit. I've had this pattern for ages, been meaning to knit it, but not far to go. Almost there. Yeah, they're really cute. Yeah, so there's nothing else to say about that, really. I really hope that I'm not sort of generally intolerant to alpaca. If I do discover that I am, it's not the end of the world. I just have to be a bit more careful with the yarn that I choose. But there we go. But it is what it is. Funnily enough, my dad is intolerant to it as well in hats. My mum made him a beautiful Musselburgh, I think it was last winter, and yeah, he has the same problem on his head. Although he does have considerably less hair than I do, so maybe I've got a bit more protection. Anyway. So that is my Time to Reap mitts from Dandelion Girl Designs. Okay, we're into irresponsible purchases. I can't believe how much yarn I bought yesterday. So yeah, I went to the Breidagen, which means, I think it means knitting days in Dutch, and I apologise in advance for all pronunciation errors. Yeah, I bought lots of yarn, so I was so excited to go because some of my favourite dyers are going to be there. And I wanted to buy a sweater quantity of yarn for my partner, which I have done. And I'm going to cast that on really soon. So I'll get to that in a minute. So the Breidagen, interestingly, the last one I went to in Breidagen was really quiet. It was, you know, it was a big space. There weren't so many vendors. It was really, really quiet. Yesterday, it was heaving. Honestly, I've mentioned it before. I have problems with anxiety. You know, a few things going on in the background that I did find it a lot. My partner is wonderful. He is so supportive. He comes with me to all of this stuff, and it's just brilliant. He's just so chatty, and he's so you know, yeah. What can I say? He's a great guy. And incredibly supportive. So anyway, when I go to these things and it's super busy, I just make a beeline for the people that I know so that I can have a nice chat, calm down a little bit, and you know, not panic too much. Which is what I did. But then of course that leads to irresponsible purchases. What can I say? So the first irresponsible purchase I made was these, I apologise for the crinkling, little festive needle stoppers and progress keepers. I'm sorry, I know they're really cheesy. But I saw those little gingerbread houses and I couldn't resist. They're very cute. So yeah, they're going to join my other little sort of horrors that I have for the festive season. I love stuff like that though. Much more classy are these gorgeous stitch markers that I've got from Skwear Shawlette. She was telling me about how she made these. So she goes on her little daily walk, she finds these little botanicals, and then she goes home and she presses them and dries them, and then makes these amazing little resin stitch markers. And she had them in a couple of sizes. These ones are good for up to 5mm. And there's just, oh, I think it's a bit of ragged robin, there's some shepherd's purse, I think there's a little elderflower in there. They're just charming, really pretty. Little bit of Queen Anne's lace, I think maybe. Absolutely gorgeous. And Linda, the lady behind the company, is lovely as well. She's so nice to chat to. So yeah, I fell in love with those and they had to come home with me. Gorgeous, so much work, really beautiful. I also, so I went to her first because I saw her stall and I was like, I'm there. And I got those and I said to her, I'm not really intending to buy too much yarn today, so stitch markers are perfect. And then I bought lots of yarn, and then on the way back I thought, well, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. So I bought some fibre from her. She sells beautiful fibre. I had some silk mohair, no, not mohair, silk merino from her before, and it spun up beautifully. So I got some rollags from her. This is merino Shetland silk. And this is merino Shetland Schwabbelers. And I'm thinking of trying to spin these up as thin as possible to have a go with making socks with them, because I think they've got stellina in as well. If I turn the sound on the camera off for a second, I'll try and open one of these so I can get it out and show it to you. They look so pretty in the boxes though. Give me 1 second. I've just opened the box, or boxes. All I want to do is spin these. So anyway, I'm going to challenge myself to spin these as thin as possible so that I can maybe make socks with them. Look at that. Oh, they're really special. So there's a little bit of stellina in there, and they're just, oh. I'll tell you what, I think that obviously knitting and buying yarn are two separate hobbies, but I think that spinning and buying fibre and using the fibre are three separate hobbies as well. I really enjoy spinning. It's going to take a while, I think, for that transition to follow through to actually making something, which I have started making something out of my hand spun, but other things have just got in the way. But actually spinning this yarn is so joyful. So yeah, I've got to show you again. Oh dear. So anyway, I've got 40 grams of each of those to play with, and if I can spin it up nice and thin, I reckon I can have a go at making some cute little socks out of those. So that is that. I also found some of this. Now, this is probably a little bit boring if you've been here for a while, because when I went to Copenhagen a couple of years ago, I bought a few skeins of this, and I want to make myself a big, oversized Scandinavian style, Icelandic style jumper, and I want this to be the main colour. I've got some other lovely yarn that I want to go with it, and I was going to try and make it work, maybe with a different colour, so I could stretch the this MC a little bit further. So the shop that I got this from is called Trollenvoll, and they had an amazing selection of Scandinavian yarns, Norwegian, Danish, Swedish, and their own stuff as well. It was really, really cool. And they had a lovely selection of books as well, in a variety of languages. I think mainly English, but in a variety of languages. And yeah, I just couldn't resist. This yarn is really not that expensive at all. And it's good quality workhorse yarn. Not the softest in the world, but really beautiful. So it's all in Danish, but I'm pretty sure it's a mix of Falklands Merino and Gotland, and it's 200 meters per 100 grams. And yeah, I'm planning on making myself a nice big jumper with a beautiful colour work yoke, nice and oversized with this. So yeah, that is that. The next thing that I got is for a gift for somebody. And this is gorgeous 100% cotton, and I'm planning on a weaving project with this. You just don't see hand-dyed cotton that often, and it's beautiful. So this is two sisters. I think only one of them is the dyer, the other sister was there helping out. But yeah, they had this amazing, really thick single ply cotton as well that was really soft and a little bit slubby. It was beautiful. I think I'd be quite interested to try that as well, to see what the stretch is like, because it would be really nice to maybe make a jumper or something with it for somebody who's intolerant to animal fibres. But yeah, this is gorgeous, really gorgeous. Actually, if I hold the QR code there, you can scan that if you want to get more information about this. But yeah, I was really impressed with this. Hadn't come across this before. This is why I go to yarn festivals, to try and learn about new dyes and things, and new sort of fibres that are out there. So yeah, really looking forward to making something with that on my loom. Of course, no visit to a Dutch yarn festival, or any yarn festival in my opinion, would be complete without a visit to the lovely Ross of the WE Yarn Company. I got 2 more skeins of castor lace. You know how much I love castor lace. And this is beautiful. And for a little while, this was stolen yarn. So I had a lovely chat with Ross. Everything's fine. La 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 la. You know, having a nice afternoon. Walked away, driving home. And he messaged and he said, "Your payment didn't go through for the yarn." I was like, oh no, I've got stolen goods. I've crossed into another country with stolen goods. I was just like, I'm so sorry. It's fine, it's all sorted out now. But I was so embarrassed. Gosh. Anyway, yeah, so for a little while, I transported stolen goods across country lines. What can I say? I'm a criminal. So yeah, this is beautiful. I have no immediate plans for this. I just want to pop it in my stash. It's very versatile. You can use it alone as a lace weight. So it's it's 50% Falkland Merino, 25% Gotland, 25% Corriedale, and it is 650 meters per 100 grams. And yeah, it's just super versatile. So that little Skwear Shawlette that I was making, this would be perfect for it. Or you can hold it double and use it in a colourwork yoke or whatever. It's just really gorgeous. Also, you could use it like a mohair and hold it with another yarn throughout something to get an all over colour look. Oh, that would be gorgeous, wouldn't it? Imagine that with like a pale grey or something, and then that running all the way through it. Oh, that would be beautiful. Anywho, so I got that, which I now have paid for. So embarrassing. And then this is from the lovely Aidan at Undercover Otter. So my partner and I were talking to them at their stall, and they handed me a black light, and I went over all of their yarn with a black light, and it's like you're in a sort of disco or something. It was absolutely incredible. Loved it. So yes, my partner chose this. He loves to have his brightly coloured muscle bras, and this has got a little bit of reactive neon in it as well. So under a black light, he will glow beautifully. But yeah, so I'm really chuffed with this. Yeah, I'll look forward to knitting that sometime. So the next thing I got was the sweater quantity. Yeah, so Misha is a newish yarn dyer. They used to dye with Undercover Otter, but they've started their own company and they're doing their own thing. And I'm there for it because it's all really dark, super saturated, witchy folklore. I love it. I absolutely love their colour palette. And I really wanted to buy a sweater quantity of yarn from them. But I wanted to do it in person. I don't particularly enjoy choosing yarn online when I haven't sort of at least seen it once in person. So yeah, I was waiting for an opportunity to do this, and this is what I got. How incredible is that? There's some footage at the end of all the stalls and things, and you can see that Misha of Nocturne, sorry, I haven't actually told you what the name of the company is, have I? There you go, it's Nocturne. Yeah, they helped me out with which one to go for, and this base is going to be absolutely on point. I just asked them, like, which of your bases would you recommend for a sort of a jumper, a sort of pullover project, and yeah, this is the base that they recommended. So this is 100% superwash BFL. It's 100 grams per 225 meters. So it's a slightly lighter sport weight DK. And you can't really, oh, maybe you can see it a little bit. It's got like black tones in it. It's just so saturated. It's gorgeous. Really nice. As I said, there are links to all of the shops that I visited, all of the stands and things down below, and it's just lovely, so nice to go to a yarn show, and there's just such a variety of different things to choose from, a variety of different sort of bases and things. It's wonderful. I mean, I've got everything here from quite traditional Scandinavian yarn to, you know, glow-in-the-dark blacklight yarn. So it's just wonderful. I love going to yarn festivals. It, you know, as I said, I do suffer a little bit with anxiety and so on, but yeah, it's kind of worth it to push through and experience that and see all this beautiful yarn in person and meet all of the lovely, lovely, lovely vendors. So yes, I think that that's all that I need to talk about today. Thank you so much to the winners of the Thrifty Mail getting back to me so quickly last week. One of the parcels has already been sent off, the other one needs to go off this week, and the third one is waiting because apparently there's a postal strike in Canada at the moment. So we didn't want it to get stuck in customs, so the winner suggested that I wait until that's all sorted out. And also a massive, huge thank you to Nancy Wheeler. Nancy Wheeler is Knit Sip Happy. She is a prolific sock designer and makes beautiful sock patterns, and she really kindly donated 3 of her patterns to be given to the winners of the Thrifty Mail. And yeah, so that's all sorted out, and she sent off the winners, sent off the chosen patterns to the winners. Straight away, as soon as I emailed her. She is just wonderful. She's such a lovely person. She was in Europe actually this summer, but the exact 2 weeks that I went back to the UK, so we sort of crossed like that. One day we'll meet in person, but not that time. So yeah, a huge thank you to you, Nancy. It was really appreciated, and yeah, I really need to. I keep buying your sock patterns. and not casting them on because I am addicted to vanilla socks. What can I say? I will make sure that I try and cast one on as my next pair of socks maybe. That might be fun. Anyway, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I really appreciate it. After the end of this episode, there is a little tour of the yarn show that I went to. I hope you enjoy it. And yes, I shall see you again in a couple of weeks' time. Take care. And yeah, happy crafting. Bye.